Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday gave a clean bill of health to the appointment of the 7 ministerial nominees sent to it by President Bola Tinubu Thursday last week. President Tinubu last week carried out a minor cabinet reshuffle that asked some ministers and reassigned a few. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that the screening of the nominees was done at the Committee of the Whole, while their appointment were confirmed at plenary. Nentawe Yuwada was confirmed as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Muhammadu Dingyadi as Minister of Labour and Employment, and Bianca Odumeko Ojukwu as Minister of State Foreign Affairs. Others are Jumoke Oduwole as Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Idime Yahas, and our Minister of State Housing and
together with very dedicated officers.
Before somebody can put key in and put his input into whatever.
It was, I would say, one of the best experiences of my life.
Because state and into the country. And the same thing I was doing in poverty animation. Because you must get the mark of the people for giving me this opportunity to once again serve my dear country. Like Ondo, like Edo in 2020.
A few senators who spoke during the exercise commended Tinubu for bringing in nominees despite party affiliation. The nomination, according to Senator Erinaya Baribe, highlighted the administration's focus on unity of the country.
Are celebrating their birthdays today, and of October 2024. Say aye. Those again say nay.
President of the Senate, President Godswill Akpabio, congratulated the ministers designate and urged them to hit the ground running. The House of Representatives on Wednesday passed for third reading a bill for an act to prevent, prohibit and redress sexual harassment of students in tertiary institutions and for others related matters and for matters connected with therewith. The bill, which is a legal bill, was read on the floor at plenary at the House Majority Leader Honorable Julius Inyovere, who incidentally first brought the bill before the House in the Night Assembly, with the former Deputy Senate President Ovio Magege presenting the same bill at the Senate before Honorable Akin Rotimi. Those introduced it in the 10th Assembly with some modifications. According to Honorable Akin Rotimi, the bill's objective, amongst other things, are to promote and protect ethical standards in tertiary institutions, the sanctity of students' educator, fiduciary relationship of authority, dependence of trust and respect for human dignity. The National Association of Nigerian Student Nurse and Civil Society Group also spoke on the importance of the bill, which they are praying for that, if finally assented to by the President, will protect students from predatory lecturers.
An educator shall be guilty of committing an offense or a felony of sexual harassment if he or she engages in any form of unwelcome physical contact or verbal conduct of a sexual nature with a student or prospective student, or demands such conduct regardless of consent. Number 2, creates a hostile, offensive, or intimidating environment for a student by making unsolicited or inappropriate sexual advances or by requesting sexual favors.
The entire leadership of the over 40 million Nigerian students are very happy. I want to specially thank the Honorable Rotimi for this legislative framework and to rescue Nigerian students from sexual harassment. You see, this builds confidence in learning process. As students in various higher institutions, we have confidence to learn very well without facing any form of intimidation.
We're happy to see that this bill against sexual harassment is passed because it will bring a major step forward in protecting our women and girls from sexual violence. This bill is not just a piece of legislature, but a beacon of hope for our girls and our women. in Nigeria.
So it's important that there is a comprehensive law that addresses the gaps that are inherent in extant laws, and that is what this bill, that's the gap that this bill has been designed to bridge.
Also, the House of Representatives summoned the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Hydrological Services Agency to appear before the Committees on Environment, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and Water Resources. The House also called on the Federal Ministry of Environment and State Government to initiate evacuation plans for communities along floodplains, ensuring access to temporary shelters, medical assistance, and other necessary support for affected populations. This resolution followed adoption of a motion introduced by Honorable C.C. Wingan.
Relevant authorities immediately implement strategies to mitigate the predicted disaster, including evacuation plans, provision of relief materials, and ensuring post-flood recovery efforts are coordinated effectively. The House resolves to 1. Summon the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Hydrological Services Agency to appear before this Honorable House to explain what precautionary measures are being implemented to safeguard lives and properties in the predicted flood zones.
In a separate resolution, representatives also urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to relocate its local government offices to secure neutral locations and to include adequate provisions in the 2025 budget for that purpose. The House further directed the Committee on Electoral Matters to collaborate with INEC and other relevant stakeholders to ensure compliance with the report due within 4 weeks. Presenting his motion, Honorable Sunday Namchi pointed out that many INEC offices are currently located within local government headquarters.
The House also notes that the Independent National Electoral Commission has a critical role in conducting free, fair, and credible elections. The House further notes that the majority of the INEC's local government offices are currently situated within local government headquarters or otherwise. Further note that the majority, the House are aware that this is potentially hampering and compromising the independence of INEC in the conduct of elections.
The Green Chamber also urged the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace to halt the insurance of airstrip licenses to private individuals and organizations to revoke any existing approvals. The move is intended to strengthen national security.
Recall that in September 2014, a prominent religious leader was linked with a private jet used to convey $9.3 million in cash to South Africa for purchase of arms. The private jet was seized by the South African authorities, which has two people, Nigerian and an Israeli, on board. Concerned that the current experience of security challenge that Nigeria is facing,
a member of House of Representatives, Honorable Alex Mascot, was on Wednesday arraigned at Abuja Magistrate Court in Kuje for allegedly assaulting a boat driver in his residence in Abuja. The lawmaker representing Abia North and South Federal Constituency was docked but pleaded not guilty to all the charges that the Nigerian Police Force brought against him. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that the charge include abuse of office, assault and threat to life. Following the defendant's plea of innocence, the prosecution counsel, Ehumar, applied for a date for a full-blown hearing on the matter. On his part, the defense counsel made oral application for his release and bail pending the determination of the case. The defendant contended that charge against them contained bailable offences, adding that the right of presumption of innocence was guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution as amended. In his ruling, Magistrate Abubakar Umar said that he was minded to accede to the defendant's application for bail. Consequently, he granted him bail in the sum of 500,000 naira with two sureties in like sum. The court added that the sureties must not only reside within its jurisdiction, but must also provide utility bills as proof of residence. It subsequently adjourned the matter to November 8 for trial. The Federal High Court in Abuja has stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria from further releasing monthly financial allocations from the Federation account to Rivers State government. The court held that the receipt and disbursement of monthly allocations since January this year by Governor Sinalai Fubara is a constitutional somersault and operation that must not be allowed to continue. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports to Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, who issued the order on Wednesday, held that the presentation of the 2024 budget by Fubara before a four-member Rivers House of Assembly was an affront to the constitutional provision. Specifically, the judge said that Fubara's action in implementing an unlawful budget, having not been passed by the appropriate House of Assembly, marked gross violation of the 1999 Constitution he swore to protect. The judge therefore restrained CBN, Accountant General of the Federation, Zenith Bank and Access Bank from further allowing Fubara to access money from the Consolidated Revenue and Federation account. Delivering judgment in a suit filed by Rivers House of Assembly and Right Honorable Martin Chike-Ameule as its Speaker, Justice Abdulmalik held that the CBN was under obligation to ensure that the right thing was done before money from Consolidated Revenue and Federation account are released to the beneficiaries. The court subsequently issued an order of injunction which restrains CBN, Zenith Bank, Access Bank and the Accountant General of the Federation from permitting the withdrawal or use of the funds from the Consolidated Revenue account and the Federation account by Rivers State Government until the budget of the state is passed by a appropriate House of Assembly.
Let us explain in very clear terms. The Section 120, 121, 122 and 123 of the Constitution clearly stipulated what should be done before the state can spend money, state expenditure. And it's clear there that no money shall be appropriated without an appropriate bill being passed by the House of Assembly. It's very clear from the judgment of Motosho, which was confirmed by the Court of Appeal.
In continuation of hearing, a former governor of Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele's money laundering case at the Ikeja High Court, the number 6 witness PW6 John Oga revealed that Emefiele's cousin Anna Emefiele was one of the beneficiaries of a series of undocumented money it distributed on behalf of the former CBN governor. During Wednesday's hearing, PW6, whose cross-examination started on Monday, returned to the witness box to confirm the statement he made with officials of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). He said while working with Emefiele as the personal secretary at the CBN office in Abuja, part of his work schedule is to send mail to Zenith Bank for onward distribution of funds to companies and individuals, of which those 3 companies traced to Emefiele are among and the cousins. The hearing, which also lasted for the whole day, was adjourned by the presiding judge, Justice Ramanu Shudi, to 31st of October for continuation of cross-examination of witnesses. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. President Bola Tinubu appoints Major General Olufemi Olatobosun Oluyede as the acting chief of Army Staff (COAS). Details of that are not coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, has appointed Major General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede as the Acting Chief of Army Staff. Oluyede will act in the position pending the return of the indisposed State Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja. On Chile's appointment, Oluyede served as the 56th Commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna. The 56-year-old Oluyede and Lagbaja were coursemates and members of the 39th Regular Corps. He was commissioned as second lieutenant in 1992, effective from 1987. He rose to Major General in September 2020. Oluyede has held many commands since his commissioning as an officer. He was platoon commander and adjutant at 65 Battalion, company commander at 177 Guard Battalion, Staff Officer Guard Brigade Commandant Amphibious Training School. Oluyede has earned many honors for his meritorious service in various fields of operation. These include the Corps Medal of Honor, the Grand Service Star, passing the staff course, and membership in the National Institute. A federal court in Abuja has adjourned hearing in money laundering case brought against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to January 21, 2025. Had a recent hearing on Wednesday, counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Kemi Pinheiro-San, said that he had 2 witnesses already in court. He said his first application was to formally enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of the defendant, even in his absence. Correspondent Kolojo reports that Pinheiro-San, in defending his application to enter a plea of not guilty for the defendant, said the right to plead guilty or not guilty is a right that could be waived by the defendant. Michael Adoyi, who appeared for the defendant, however, kicked against this, saying that the prosecution's application was made contrary to a subsisting order of Justice Emeka Nwite's court. Justice Nwite, however, said that it might not be possible to deliver the ruling this year. Pinheiro therefore proposed 21st January 2025 for ruling and/or arraignment. The judge thereafter adjourned to 21st January for ruling of the application by the EFCC and/or arraignment. A High Court sitting in Ogun State has fixed November 8, 2024 to hear the suit challenging Ogun State Electoral Commission (OGCEC) on the forthcoming November 16th local government elections. The National Rescue Movement (NRM) has approached the court to challenge the imposition of payment of what they describe as outrageous amount as administrative fee as OGCEC. The party prayed the court to declare as illegal, unconstitutional, null and void the imposition of the administrative fee by OGCEC. In his ruling, Justice Eso Adeniyi said the case is a pre-election matter which must be heard urgently.
Because we filed our originating process, which is the originating summons, and we've served the first defendants, which is Ogun State Electoral Commission and age of Ogun State, which is the Attorney General's office. So they've been served the process, and even at that, the Director of Legal Service for the first defendant, which is Ogun State Electoral Commission, was in court this morning to acknowledge the service of the court process.
Amid growing concerns over disparities in doctors' remuneration across Nigeria, the Nigerian Medical Association Ogun State branch has issued a call for the universal implementation of the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure (CAMS) wage scale. The NME argues that addressing wage discrepancies, particularly among clinical lecturers in basic medical science, basic clinical science, and other essential medical fields, is essential to retaining skilled professionals within the state. at a press conference held to mark the 2024 Physicians Week themed Ensuring Universal Applicability in Remuneration, a panacea to talent retention in the healthcare system. Dr. Lukman Ogunjimi, chairman of NME Ogun State, emphasized the importance of fair compensation in preventing a brain drain in the healthcare sector.
Regarding the need for universal implementation of COMES salary scale for all doctors, specifically, we are asking the state government to look into the apparent deficiency in salary of clinical lecturers in basic medical sciences, basic clinical sciences, and clinical sciences in Ogun State University, in Olabisi Onabanjo University.
A consultant and public health care specialist, Dr. Babatunde Faye, has urged the federal government to invest massively in the national health resources at the primary health care level to boost health development. He was a former commissioner for health in Ogun State. He stated this while delivering a keynote paper at the 2024 Physicians Week of the Nigerian Medical Association NMA Ogun State branch that people living in the rural areas need basic health care. He maintained that the priority of government should be on how to spend the paltry sum of resource allocation of the health sector on people in the rural areas. The public health specialist asked government to invest at least 70% of health allocation on primary health care for health and economic growth. The state chairman of NMA, Dr. Lukman Ogunjimi, enjoined his colleagues to continue to be the future of the nation's healthcare by remembering the path they chose to be healers, protectors, and advocates Nigerians rely on.
Don't live in the cities. Most Nigerians live in rural communities, and their health needs are basic. So what we need to do is to invest national resources at the basic level. Okay, and rich Nigerians can take care of their health. Some people don't get well until they get into an aircraft. So they shouldn't be the priority of government. So priority of government is to take that little resources and make sure that we take care of people in communities where they live.
The Nigerian Medical Association Rivers State branch says the nation every year since 2019 loses at least 2,000 doctors to foreign nations from various fields, leaving behind a workforce impoverished health sector. Chairman of NMA in the state, Dr. Tabunukuru Diamond, who made this neonatal briefing as part of events marking the 2024 Physicians Week, said the nation's health space is plagued with the evil of brain drain, outbreak of communicable diseases, and epidemic of non-communicable diseases. He identified insecurities, suboptimal working conditions, and inadequate remuneration as key push factors in the health sector, calling on government at all levels to wake up to their responsibilities.
We therefore call on governments at all levels to wake up to their key responsibility of providing adequate security, not just for health workers, but for the entire citizenry. No doctor, and I repeat, no doctor can function optimally in environments where he or she is still being kidnapped for ransom, like a piece of object, harassed by armed men, assaulted by patient relatives, and sometimes by local vigilantes, and even tasked force with all kinds of nomenclature.
The NMA chairman assured that the association is working with the State Ministry of Health to address the issue of quackery.
We urge Rivers citizens to always maintain universal precautions in our day-to-day interactions. Our message is simple: Rivers' lives matter. We urge Rivers citizens to join us in this fight against quacks in the health sector. Report any facility you suspect may be operating illegally or openly advertising their services, usually on social media spaces, with spurious claims of results that never shipped.
The Joint Action Committee on the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities has stated that there has been no official communication from the government regarding its ongoing strike. On Monday, the JAC of SANU and NASU commenced an indefinite strike over 4 months of without salaries, effectively halting university activities nationwide. Speaking in an interview with newsmen, the National Vice President of SANU, Abdul Salam, said there is no update on the ongoing strike. It continues. Some informal contacts were made between the Minister of State for Education and the union executives, but there's been no real progress, just as informal appeal. The unions are demanding, among other things, the payment of the 4 months without salaries, improved remuneration and allowances, and the implementation of the 2009 agreement with the government. Now moving on to other stories, Nigerians have been charged to rise up and fight against the spread of fake news in the country. This charge was made at the investiture of some notable Nigerians as ambassador at large in the fight against fake news in Nigeria, organized by Action Against Fake News Network (AAFN). Among Nigerians inaugurated as ambassadors at large in the fight against fake news are the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetoko and Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2 Adegoke Fayoade.
1. Fake news is a threat to democracy stability. 2. Fake news is a threat to security of life and businesses. 3. Fake news is a threat to ruin economy. 4. Fake news promotes cultism. 5. Fake news is a threat to patriotism. For us, we believe it is high time we all stand up against fake news before it destroys our national unity.
Speaking about the impact of fake news in the society, AIG Fayoade, who represented the Inspector General of Police and Sirikin Samari, Southwest Nigeria, Ambassador Sani Selusu Danmuta, said fake news is a dangerous phenomenon which could cause irreparable damage.
The country needs news that will elevate the country, news that will give the country good names, news that will make Nigeria better and better, not news that will be very discouraging, not news that will so demeaning, not news that will make Nigerians portray Nigeria in a very bad light to outsiders and Nigerians as well.
Story that will incite violence, community clashes. You need to hear from both sides before put it on social platform. This is the man that claimed to be a journalist, a professional journalist.
And to other stories, a professor of economics from the Benue State University has cautioned against those calling for withdrawal of old Naira notes from circulation, which currently run side by side with new redesigned Naira note, as risky, saying it would worsen the already harsh economic situation in the country. Professor Ayila Ngustaf, who spoke about against issues of deadline being speculated by as December 31st, explained that there are no economic implications allowing the existence of two legal tender operating in the country, as it can be allowed for a number of periods or years, as is obtained in other climes, pending when there is enough new Naira notes in circulation. He cited the cost of printing new notes and the current economic situation as huge, while corroborating the stance of the central bank, the Apex Bank in Nigeria. He called on President Bola Tinubu to implement workable policy to alleviate sufferings and work on our foreign exchange rate, which is now Nigeria's albatross.
I don't think there's any significant implications. Like in other countries, when they redesign their currencies, they allow the two currencies to coexist over a period of time. Sometimes maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and then the other one will fizzle out. If they are going to withdraw the old currency, from circulation, that is where the problem will come in. Because already all of us know that the redesigned Naira is not enough in circulation. And that will worsen the already bad situation that we have in this country. These high prices of goods and services that we are experiencing.
The professor of economics called on government to encourage local production, observing that the current cost of food items and other commodities have jerked astronomically, while the distribution of palliatives have not yielded any impact.
Foreign exchange, not foreign total in Nigeria, is virtually falling off. For the economy to grow effectively, for these problems to be taken, we have to encourage production. So as the president of this country, I expected that he should put in place policies that will reduce the effect of these policies that people are crying about. Because if you go to the market now, what you used to buy at 5 naira is 20 or 30 naira.
Honorable Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, the member representing Gumi Bukuyum Federal Constituency of Zamfara State in House of Representatives, has announced his defection from the People's Democratic Party to All Progressive Congress. Gumi cited ongoing internal and external crisis within the PDP as his reason for switching parties. His defection letter was read during Wednesday's plenary session by Speaker Abbas Tajuddin. In his letter, Gumi pointed to the recent removal of his party's local government chairman, which led to the emergence of two rival chairmen, creating a challenging environment for democratic processes. Responding to Gumi's defection, Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda urged the Speaker to uphold his oath of office by declaring Gumi's seat vacant. Chinda argued that the Supreme Court has clarified the criteria for what constitutes a legitimate political crisis and contended that Gumi's reason did not meet those standards. Quoting the Constitution, he said lawmakers should not retain their seats if they leave the party that originally sponsored them.
From the People's Party, People's Democratic Party, to the All Progressive Congress APC with immediate effect. Your Excellency, my decampment from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress was as a result of the lingering and unresolved internal and external crisis within the People's Democratic Party. It is in view of the foregoing that I am officially informing you of my decampment from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress.
As our leader, as the interpreter of the rules of the House and the Constitution, as far as we are concerned in these green chambers. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that for a member to leave his political party to another political party, the constitutional provisions are very, very clear. And the reasons given from what you have read is that he has two chairmen in his constituency.
Minority Leader used words that I think he should take back. He said to Mr. Speaker that a time may come, when you, Mr. Speaker, have to do the right thing. Honorable colleagues, our Speaker does the right thing all the time.
Now to security, the Nigerian police force has arrested a total of 1,243 suspects for offences ranging from armed robbery, kidnapping, murder and homicide, unlawful possession of firearms to rape. Not only that, a total 210 firearms, 3,172 rounds of ammunition, 118 stolen vehicles and 64 kidnapping victims were recovered across the country within the month of October 2024. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Muyiwa Adejobi, while parading the suspect, attributed the fear to adequate intelligence information. Speaking while parading 16 suspects at the IRT office in Abuja, ACP Adejobi highlighted the force dedication under the leadership of Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun. He emphasized that these efforts reflect the force's commitment to curbing criminal activities and ensuring security of all citizens through intelligence-led policing, tactical operations and community engagement.
October 1, 2024, the Nigerian Police Force has recorded significant achievements in the fight against crime. These include the arrest of 371 armed robbery suspects, 186 kidnapping suspects, 242 murder/homicide suspects, 63 suspects connected with unlawful possession of prohibited firearms.
Among recent cases was exposure of a syndicate involved in criminal conspiracy and kidnapping, including tour guide captors from Plateau State, who admitted to identifying local villagers as potential targets for the gang. ACP Adejobi reiterated that the Nigerian police force is resolute in its mission to maintain peace and security nationwide, adding that the force remains committed to build on these achievements and intensifying efforts to combat crimes like banditry, armed robbery and cybercrime to foster a safe environment for all.
One my friend tell me, say, make I come join him with this club.
Which one of your friends? Who?
Babao.
Babao.
Yes, sir.
All of these initiatives is to establish a substantial decrease in crime rates across the country and the record of significant strides in combating several crimes of violent crimes such as banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and cyber crime.
Now we move to the international desk for the news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. At least 52 people have died in eastern Spain after flash floods swept away cars, turned village streets into rivers and disrupted rail lines and highways in a worst natural disaster to hit the European nation in recent memory. Emergency services in the eastern region of Valencia confirmed the death toll of 51 people on Wednesday. The Central Government Office for Castilla-La Mancha region added that an 88-year-old woman was found dead in the city of Cuenca. Rainstorms on Tuesday caused flooding in a wide swathe of southern and eastern Spain, stretching from Malaga to Valencia. Floods of mud-colored water tumbled vehicles down street at high speeds, while pieces of wood swirled in the water with household items. Over 1,000 soldiers from Spain's emergency response unit were deployed to the devastating areas. Rescue services were also rushing eastwards from other parts of Spain. Spain's central government set up a crisis committee to help coordinate rescue efforts. A Chinese spacecraft with a 3-person crew, including the country's first female space engineer, has docked after a journey of more than 6 hours. The crew will use the homegrown space station as a base for 6 months to conduct experiments and carry out spacewalks as Beijing's gathered experience and intelligence for its eventual mission to put someone on the moon by 2030. Beijing declared the launch of Shenzhou 19 a complete success. It is one of 100 launches China has planned in a record year of space exploration as it tries to outdo its rival, the United States. Newsmen are given rare access to the Zhejiang Satellite Launch Center in Gansu and were just over a kilometer away from the spacecraft blasted off. Flames shot out of the rocket launcher as it took to the skies, lighting up the Gobi Desert with a deafening roar. Hundreds of people lined the streets waving and cheering the names of the Take-Not, China's World 4 astronauts, as they were sent off. At the Tiangong space station, the Chenzhou 19 crew met with 3 other astronauts who are manning the Chenzhou 18 and will return to Earth on 4th of November. King Charles and his wife Queen Camilla have made a brief stopover in India following their recent trip to Australia and Samoa. Buckingham Palace confirmed on Wednesday, staying at a holistic health center they have visited before. Charles, 75, and Camilla made the private visit on their way back from his recent tour of Australia, where he is head of state, and a brief trip to Samoa for the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting. His first major foreign trip since being diagnosed with cancer. Indian media reported that the royal couple had arrived in Bengaluru on October 27 and had since been at the Sokia International Holistic Health Center, where they had enjoyed yoga and meditation sessions. Their Majesties had a short private stopover in India to help break the long journey back from Samoa, a Buckingham Palace spokesperson said. They returned to the UK this morning. Charles, who has long advocated alternative medicines and therapies, has paid many visits to India and to the Sokia Center itself before. Its website, which says it's aimed to restore your body's natural balance of mind, body and spirit, features pictures of Charles and Camilla and a testimonial from the monarch on its front page. A royal source said the stopover was not connected to his ongoing health issues, but was to allow him to rest as part of planning for the long-distance travel, his recent tour, and involved at a location he was familiar. Still on foreign news, the United States condemns Israeli strikes on the city of Beit Lahia in Gaza, saying it was deeply concerned by the loss of civilian life following reports that many children were killed in a bombing. This was a horrifying incident with a horrifying result, U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller told newsmen. At least 93 people were killed or missing due to the attack, according to Palestinian medics. Washington reached out to the Israeli government and made clear that they want to know exactly what happened, Miller said. One of the questions posed by the U.S., how you could have a result that produces, according to report, dozens of children dead, and we don't yet know the answer to that question, according to Miller. The State Department spokesperson reiterated calls for a ceasefire in Gaza now that Israel has decimated Hamas' military capabilities. An Israeli human rights lawyer has condemned the Israeli government for banning the UN's aid agency for Palestinians on Monday. 9 people were injured, several apartments set ablaze, and a kindergarten was damaged in Russia's 19th attack on the Ukrainian capital this month, officials in Kyiv said on Wednesday. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched 62 drones overnight, but air defense units destroyed 33 of them over Kyiv and other regions, although 25 were unaccounted for. 19 airstrikes on Kyiv in October, Sirpopko, the head of Kyiv's military administration, said on a Telegram messaging app. Overnight, the Russian drones again flew over the capital. Falling debris from a destroyed drone sparked a fire in a multi-story apartment building in Kyiv's western district of Solomonsky and injured at least 9 people, including an 11-year-old girl, Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said on Telegram. 19 people were evacuated from the building, said the city's military administration, which also posted photographs of a building with blown-out windows and damaged facade that it described as a kindergarten in the city. Finally, on foreign news, Russia on Wednesday accused Britain of using a Black Sea grain corridor to deliver arms to Ukraine after denying London's delegations that Russian attacks on Ukrainian port had disrupted crucial grain supplies for other countries. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said last week that an increase in Russian attacks on Ukraine's Black Sea port was delaying vital aid reaching the Palestinians and stopping crucial grain supplies from being delivered to the global south. The United Nations said last week the Russian attack on Ukrainian Black Sea port had damaged 6 civilian vessels as well as grain infrastructure since September 1st, calling the ramp-up in strikes distressing. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on Wednesday that Starmer's allegations that Moscow was damaging global food security with such strikes were wide of the mark. Such baseless yet thunderous outrage from London once again confirms the opposite, the direct involvement of the UK in supplying arms to the Kyiv regime during using the Black Sea corridor, she told a press briefing. Zakharova referred to what she said was recent video evidence concerning the port of Yuzhny in Ukraine's Odessa region and purported arms supplies published by Russia's Ministry of Defense. Ukraine is a major global wheat and corn grower and exported about 6 million tons of grain alone per month via the Black Sea before Russia sent its troops into Ukraine in 2022. And that's all we have on the foreign scene.
Coming your way next, the entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Umwe. Well, here's the rest of the story for today. We'll be right back. Music star Davido, Tubaba and Tiwa Savage and others have reacted to music executive Don Jazzy's appointment of a new president and COO of his record label, Marvin. It was recorded on Tuesday night that the record label boss had appointed Tega Ogenejobo as president and COO of his record label, Marvin Records. He noted how he is always praised for always being able to support and raise superstars, but he can proudly say that the most genius thing he had done in his life was being able to speak the passion and resilience in Tega. He said that from the early days he has watched Tega being curious about the business, build teams, develop executives and ensure their talent have sustainable careers from the start. According to Don Jazzy, Tega's commitment to growing Marvin and shaping the future of African music has been relentless, and he's confident that with him in this new role they will continue to break new grounds and achieve even bigger milestones for the artist and company. Many celebrities flooded his comment section praising him over his decision. The Nigerian rapper Speed Darlington seemed to not have learned his lesson or from his mistake as he had threatened to deal with Grammy singer Burna Boy. It was reported last week that Burna Boy filed a petition against Speed Darlington for allegedly cyber-stalking. The rapper was taken to Abuja where he was detained by the IRT team. Darlington's mother alleged that Burna Boy and his team were responsible for his son's arrest and begged the Grammy singer to release his son. After spending 3 days in detention, Speed Darlington was released on bail after meeting conditions stipulated by the police at the Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team Department in the Gazupe area of Abuja. Rather than tone down his curiosity, the rapper via an Instagram Live vowed to deal with Burna Boy. He stated that the Grammy singer would beg for his account number by the time he was through with him. Meanwhile, Nollywood actress Nkechi Blessing Sunday has received a special recognition from the mayor of Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Hours ago, she posted a video of herself and the mayor Patrick Brown, who happily issued the recognition certificate. Sharing the clip on Instagram, Nkechi Blessing attributed this success to God with claims that she serves a living God who is so particular about blessing her. She is thankful to God for his mercy and for shaming haters who are doubtful about how far she can go. A few days ago, Blessing knelt to acknowledge her errors to the theatre, act and motion pictures practitioner of Nigerian Tampan and its president Bolaji Amusan popularly known as Mr. Latin, publicly. She sought the forgiveness of the leaders and pleaded that her ban in the industry be lifted. A video that found its way on social media captured the moment Latin hugged Nkechi Blessing to end over 3 years beef and ban. Since the video emerged, there have been positive remarks about Nkechi Blessing's apology, which many find humbling and courageous. Finally, on entertainment news, award-winning Afrobeat singer Tiwa Savage has declared herself one of the Big Three. The famous singer, in an interview while speaking on the Big Three conversation, said if people are to go talent for talent, mic for mic, she is the big one. Tiwa Savage opened up on receiving more romantic advances from women than men. According to her, a lot of women have hit on her than the men have. Tiwa Savage sparked reactions as she declares her position among the top 3 Nigerian music elite. It was always been a battle about who hosts the #1 spot among the 3 music heavyweight, Davido, Wizkid and Burna Boy. Tiwa Savage was asked how she feels about not being mentioned in the top 3. Responding to this, the mother of one noted that she feels like she's a big #1. According to her, if they were to go mic to mic, talent to talent, she would outbest the notable musicians. And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom. Bye for now.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Iribami Salako. Goodbye.